Let's go ahead and get started. I hereby call to order the Thursday, March 11th, 2021 board meeting of the Abington Township Board of Commissioners. Can we please start with the roll call?
Commissioners Thompson,
Here.
Brodsky,
Here.
Ball,
Here.
Carswell, Rothman.
Here.
Commissioner
I'm here
Rothman,
too. Yep, I'm here.
Vaughn,
Here.
Myers,
Here.
DePone, Bowman,
Here.
Placido.
Here.
Weingrab,
Here.
Vehi,
Here.
Driver,
Here.
Hecker,
Here.
Spiegelman.
Here. All right. Let us all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, I think my video is restarted. All right, we don't have any official board president announcements or presentations, but before we move on to our agenda, there's something that I just want to briefly acknowledge. It's something I'm sure is on everybody's mind. One year ago tonight was for everyone either the very, very last night of anything like normal or the very beginning of what we've all been living through since. I don't think when all of this began, anyone thought that we would be where we are today. I know I was like a lot of people in thinking, well, in a couple of weeks, school's going to reopen. In a couple of weeks, things are going to be under control. A couple of weeks, things will be better. And of course, what we've collectively suffered as a community, as a county, as the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and particularly our broader American family has been absolutely incalculable. And I want to say to everyone out there, to everyone who has been working hard to keep things together, whether it's by doing work that's been tagged as essential, whether it's doing work that's tagged as essential but may not even be really paid like it's essential, working hard to keep school running in some complicated virtual or hybrid way, working hard to keep things together for your family, for your kids, for loved ones that you haven't been able to hug in forever. For everyone out there who's just been working to keep it together, to keep life moving, and for everyone out there who has suffered loss. The loss of normalcy, the loss of education, the loss of work, and maybe a small business you worked your entire life towards, and first and foremost, the loss of life, the loss of someone you care about. We see you and we hear you. You're not forgotten. The sacrifice is not forgotten, and all I can say is hang in there. We're crossing this astonishing 1-year mark, but we are almost there. There is a light on the horizon, and it is moving closer every day. And while it's going to take a while for things to get back to anything that we maybe used to consider normal, better times are getting closer absolutely every day. So just hang in there and just know we really are all in this together. All right, with that, let's get started with tonight's agenda. We're going to start with public comments on agenda items. And I'm going to go to the attendees list and see if there are any hands up. Okay, we have one hand up. And if you could please let Ms. Lehman in.
You're unmuted, Ms. Lehman.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so, once again, I have asked endlessly for there to be a testing of the mics and so on beforehand. In other words, when you're sitting there waiting for Commissioner DePlacido, you can say to people who are, you can open your mics to the people who are in attendance and say if anybody wants to test raising their hand or anything like that and work out the problems. It's stunning to see the failure to care when people have been left out of meetings. And after I was left out of one meeting from a mechanical failure that I believe was on your part, Commissioner Spiegelman, you wouldn't even allow me to speak later on the things that I wanted to speak on. I mean, this is just literally
We
unconscionable.
hear you. Just speak.
Commissioner Baumann, Ms. Lehman, please continue.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be good. And I hope you're taking it to heart too. And please publish a number where people can have that number ready if they have a problem while they're in the middle of the meeting. That's not done again. Okay. You're spending $30,000 building a master plan on Briarbush in the middle of a pandemic when money is extremely short. And we had, warning after warning that our taxes are going up. Our taxes are definitely going up. And of course, before the pandemic, our taxes were going up far higher than ever, ever, ever in the past. And we only got 1/3 of that was 10%. Okay. And then in a pandemic, we had $5 million loss of revenue, but $5 million was taken out of the fund balance, meaning no cuts were made. This is unacceptable. We have a wish for it and spend it plan going on in this township, and that needs to come to an end. We're in a pandemic. There are people hurting. The consent agenda is not a consent agenda at all. There's nobody consenting to it. It's not done in public, and that needs to stop. Anything that's not done in public needs to stop. The consent agenda is not something agreed to and consented to by all of you. It's something Mr. Manfredi decides the public doesn't need to talk about this. The public doesn't need any more information on that. We're just going to end it all. Okay, the disaster declaration is being abused. You've taken away the committee meetings. There is no reason under the disaster or anything else. You reinstated them for developers that want to have land things heard and so on. But you won't reinstate them for citizens that want their speaking rights back, which are mostly at the committee meetings. This is an abuse of your power and actions that are against the constituents that you're supposed to be serving. Okay, it's just absolutely not. Okay. The minutes that are presented in this document tonight are again bogus. The way that my speech is.
Ms. Lehman, your time has expired. Thank you very much for your comments. All right, we are now going to move on to our formal agenda, and that begins with the consent agenda. So I turn things over to Board Vice President and Ward 1 Commissioner Tom Hecker.
Thank you, President Spiegelman. This will be a motion to approve the items on this evening's consent agenda, items A through F as listed, and I so move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Commissioner Bowman.
Can we just run that second page so we can see the other? Okay.
Thank you. All right. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Hang on, let me see if I can make sure I can see everybody's hands. All right. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, President Spiegelman.
All right. Thank you, Vice President Hecker. Now we're going to move on to new business. First, Board of Commissioners, new business. So we turn again to Board Vice President and Ward 1 Commissioner Tom Hecker.
Thank you. We have two items this evening. The first is BOC-01-031121. This is a motion to adopt resolution number 21-006, ratifying the declaration of disaster and state of emergency from February 25th, 2021 to March 11, 2021, and approving the declaration through March 18, 2021, and I so move.
Second.
Second.
been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Commissioner Bowl, did you have, oh, Commissioner Bowl, I see you.
Just very briefly, I was hoping that the township manager could comment, just because it's been some time since we've talked about this in public, just to reiterate the importance of the declaration and how it helps the township stay nimble in a very difficult time, and any other comments he wanted to offer.
I'd be happy to, Commissioner.
Thank you.
The declaration of disaster and emergency is actually the adoption of a resolution that is done under the authority. As you know, the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania declared a state of emergency. In order for the township to also declare a state of emergency, there's a provision within section 74-2A of the Code of Ordinances of the township that says any declaration of emergency must occur within 72 hours. Because we meet monthly, the board ratifies the action of staying in the state of emergency, which incidentally is relative to the provisions of 7501 of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Services Code. So it's provided by state law, it's provided by township law and township code, and it's necessary for this board to ratify the state of emergency. As you know, the state of emergency is what has allowed the Commonwealth and the township to take necessary steps and measures to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. I will add, though, that the state of emergency in the pandemic is not the reason for committee meetings not being held. That is policy, not the pandemic. But in any event, that is why we are where we are, and we are continuing to exercise every precaution necessary. We follow all CDC guidance and guidelines. We still have our exposure officer who's working very hard every week. We still have weekly emergency operations meetings to make sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to protect all the employees and the public. We take this very seriously, and we still have measures in place. One piece of positive news that I would like to share with everyone, because as you may or may not know, there are some people who have reached out to some of you about the library and when will it open. I just want everyone to know and understand that we are working very hard at bringing everybody back to work that we can, and we are working on a plan to reopen. We're working with the library director and the library board to have a plan that will synchronize with the possible end of the state of emergency by the governor sometime in May. But they are working on some very nice programs that will bring people back on the outside and try to bring some people back to the inside. So everyone who's really eager for the library to reopen, please know that we are working on that, even though there is a state of emergency. But again, we have to do so to protect every citizen and every patron who goes into the library, and of course, every employee. Mr. Bowl, I hope that answers what you would hope for.
Absolutely. Thanks, Manager Manfredi. And I just want to be clear, I appreciate the comment about the committee meetings, but I wanted to ask this question anyway. This is not sort of asking for clarification because of public comments that were made. It just have been a while since we talked about this in public, and it's very helpful for people. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I apologize for the ad lib.
Commissioner Bowl, that was a great question. Thank you very much, and thank you, Manager Manfredi, for your explanation.
Very welcome.
Is there any? Are there any other commissioner comments from commissioners? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Our second item of business is BOZ-02-031121. This is a motion to direct the township solicitor to submit ordinance number 1916 to the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry for review and approval in order to comply with the order issued February 25th, 2021 by Judge Stephen C. Tolliver Sr. of the Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas in number 2020-14850, Development Unit Acquisition LP versus Abington Township, and I so move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Manager Manfredi or Solicitor Clark, would you like to give a little comment of explanation, please?
Sure, I'll be happy to, Commissioner Spiegelman. As the board is aware, there was a challenge to ordinance 1916, specifically to the part of ordinance 1916 that incorporated ordinance 1795. As part of that challenge, which was mostly a procedural challenge, Judge Tolliver declared ordinance 1916 to be invalid. That raised some questions about whether or not that impacted the township's ability to enforce the Uniform Construction Code. And we sought clarification from Judge Tolliver regarding his order. In a second order issued on February 25th, as read by Commissioner Hecker, Judge Tolliver declared ordinance 1795 unenforceable and allowed ordinance 1916 to remain in place. So in effect, we have no issues right now adopting the UCC or enforcing the UCC. But Judge Tolliver also ordered us to submit ordinance 1916 in its entirety to L&I for review and approval. So we have to begin that process, and we will do so. We had 45 days from the date of Judge Tolliver's order. That put us right up against our April meeting. So we asked it to be put on tonight's agenda, asking the board to direct us to submit 1916 to Labor and Industry.
Thank you, Solicitor Clark. Are there any questions from commissioners? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, President Spiegelman. That concludes the Board of Commissioners' new business for this evening.
Thank you very much, Vice President Hecker. Now we're going to turn to the new business of the Public Safety Committee. So we turn to Public Safety Committee Chair and Ward 14 Commissioner Lori Schreiber.
Thank you, President Spiegelman. We have two agenda items this evening. The first one, before we get to the actual motion about appointing candidate Timothy Seidel, I'm going to call on our Chief of Police, Patrick Malloy.
Commissioner Schreiber, thank you for this opportunity. It's my honor to introduce our candidate, Tim Seidel, for your consideration on behalf of the command staff and our entire department. As you know, this selection process began in July of 2020 with over 400 candidates. Our rigorous background investigations, psychological, polygraphs, physical fitness tests, et cetera. And Timothy is going to be the first officer that we're going to offer to you for selection. He's a proud product of the Abington School District. Tim went to McKinley Elementary School. He graduated from Abington Senior High School in 2015. He was an outstanding student, athlete, captain of his soccer team, and also the volleyball team. Tim then went to State College and earned at Penn State his BS in criminology. He graduated in 2019. While there, he was appointed as one of 16 members of the executive board for Thon, which is the biggest student-run philanthropy organization, I believe, in the country. And that year they raised $11 million. And I know Tim's very proud of that accomplishment and the leadership role that he served there. He also served as a seasonal officer at Ocean City, Maryland in 2018. He put himself through the Montgomery County Police Academy, where he was also appointed as a leader of the class and served as a sergeant, and he graduated in October of 2020. So please join me in congratulating Tim for his appointment to the probationary officer. May he remain safe and get through this rigorous year of field training with our officers and develop into a proud professional police officer. I know that Tim is here, Commissioner, tonight, but I just want to turn it back over to you and thank you and the board for allowing me to introduce Tim to you tonight.
Thank you very much. That was quite an introduction, and we'll move to the motion now, actually. So the motion is to appoint candidate Timothy Seidel from the Civil Service eligibility list to the position of probationary police officer, provided he successfully completes the background, physical, and psychological tests and all entry requirements of the Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission for Act 120, training effective, and it's actually March 12th, I believe, not March 8th, as it says on the agenda. So it's March 12th, 2021. And I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions from commissioners? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Excuse me, John,
Oh, Commissioner Zapone. Commissioner Zapone, yes.
I've been having trouble getting on. Am I in now?
You are in. Hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Alrighty. So
Although we don't have video, Dennis.
No, but you can hear. You're on audio. Commissioner Zapone, you're on audio. No worries.
I'm just having trouble with this tonight. Sorry about that.
No, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thanks.
I have to call for opposed. Opposed? Motion carries, and congratulations to Officer Seidel. Back to you, Commissioner Schreiber.
congratulations, Officer Seidel. PS 0203-1121 is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2180, an ordinance amending Chapter 156, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, Section 11, Turns at Intersections, Section 14, Stop Intersections, and Article 3, Parking Regulations, Section 28, Special Purpose Parking Zones, to add a new Section 156-11.5, Turning traffic must yield to pedestrians left, to add a turning traffic must yield to pedestrians left sign on Hamilton Avenue at Easton Road, a stop sign on Gregory Road northbound at Pepper Road, and remove a handicap parking sign in front of 2552 Brookdale Avenue, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes Public Safety Committee meeting.
Commissioner Schreiber, can I interrupt one moment?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah. Tim Seidel was joining us this evening and just wanted to briefly thank the board and introduce his grandparents and whoever is with him, if that can be
Very
done.
nice.
He's very proud, and I told him that he would be able to join in.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'm going to adjust my. Oh, I see you. Hello, Officer Seidel.
How are you?
Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to really thank Chief Malloy, the township manager, and as well as the Board of Commissioners for your consideration for the approval. It means a lot to be able to come back here and serve the community in which I grew up in. I'm here with both my parents, Glenn and Melissa Seidel, and I know that my grandparents and my sister and my brother-in-law are listening in right now, and I'm just very thankful for everything that you guys have done for me so far. So thank you very much.
Officer Seidel, welcome. Congratulations. I know your parents right there. Congratulations to your parents, and I'm sure your grandparents, your whole family are very proud. We are very proud of you, and we know you're going to be an incredible part of the Abington Police Department family, and you stay safe out there.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again. Welcome. All right. And thank you, Commissioner Schreiber. Now we are going to move on to the new business of the Finance Committee, and Finance Committee Chair and Ward 12 Commissioner Matt Vahey.
Thank you, President Spiegelman. I'll first turn to our Treasurer, Jay Blumenthal, for his monthly report.
Thank you, Commissioner Vahey. As usual, I'll start out with the Abington Township revenues deposited into Republic Bank. And this is for the month of February and year to date. So we collected, deposited for the month was $4,118,152 compared to last year of $4,652,533 with a decrease of $534,381. Some of this, as usual, is a matter of timing. Year to date, collected is 5,351,232 as compared to last year to date of 5,929,993. For February, for the real estate taxes collected and sent up to Finance Department, we collected 1,153,523, and this is an increase over February of 2020 of 126,720. And that is my report. I'll take any questions if there are any.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Blumenthal.
Thank you.
We turn to the next item on our agenda, FC-01-031121. There's a motion to approve the January, the January 2021 expenditures, the amount of $2,210,733.97, and salaries and wages in the amount of $2,869,813.47, and authorizing the proper officials to sign vouchers and payment of bills and contracts as they mature through the month of April 2021. And so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Hearing none, can we please have the roll call?
Commissioners Thompson,
Yes.
Brodsky,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Carswell,
Yes.
Rothman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
DePone,
Yes.
Spillman,
Yes.
DePlacido,
Yes.
Weingrod,
Yes.
Vehi,
Yes.
Shriver,
Yes.
Hecker,
Yes.
Spiegelman.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion carries.
Last item on our agenda is FC-02-031121. Is a motion to amend the existing contract with Urban Design Ventures and to approve and ratify a one-year contract extension from February 28th, 2021 to February 28th, 2022. And I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Do we have any questions or comments from commissioners? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, that concludes the business of the Finance Committee for this evening.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Vehi. And now, lastly, we will have public comment on general items. And there is one caller. So if you could please let her in.
You're unmuted. Ms. Lehman, you're unmuted.
Yes, okay, I'm on. So,
we can hear you.
all right. So first of all, I want us to see who else is in the room. If we came to a meeting, we could see who else was there. So you have us just with our names and whatever the profile picture is, or most people just have their names. Please put us all up there so we can see everybody that's at the meeting. There were 45 people at the Planning Commission meeting for the Willow Grove Mall. Only a small handful of them got to speak. And the rest were now on their fourth meeting, some of them going till 10 o'clock and after, and starting at 6:30, waiting for the time, and then not being allowed to speak. It's completely unacceptable. You are all asleep at the wheel and not doing anything for your constituents and watching this. They don't understand what the rules are or why they're being treated like this. Also, you need notifications to people. This township always gave notifications. I understand, I've looked up the municipality planning code rules, and they're completely obtuse. In fact, in the municipality planning code, you have to know there's a meeting in order to send in a stamped self-addressed envelope to be notified of the meeting. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it needs legislators, which you are supposed to be, to change that for people. The Rothley Avenue thing that's coming up tonight, nobody at Rothley Avenue knew about all the other meetings. And this is absolutely unacceptable in this township. We were always given notice of all meetings before. And now it has gone to the least that you can do for the residents and the most you can do for developers is what's happening in this township. And it needs to change. We had a false presentation to the Willow Grove Mall. None of you asked any questions about what was going to happen to the mall. So residents were left with the feeling that there was one building going up. There's not. There could be 5, 6, 7, 8 of those going up in that spot. And we have not had a proper presentation from anybody in this township, and the developer has not been required to give one. Those minutes do not reflect what was said. Ms. Lehman commented about the time to speak. She didn't say what I commented. What I commented is the gist of what I said. She can summarize it, but you can't just say, she talked about dogs, she talked about cats, and she talked about the time of speech. You need to put minutes that make sense. And I want to know whether, since you're keeping them as your official copy, are videos and so on going to be destroyed? Because I want to know that, and I don't have an answer yet. Mr. Hecker, you're my commissioner. I want an answer on that, please. Okay, you missed the fact, by the way, the discussion that was just held about the ordinances, which you asked Mr. Clark, he shouldn't have had to explain that. That should have been in the documents where we could read what the issue is. It's not.
Your time has expired. Thank you very much for your comments.
What that is,
Thank
please.
you very much. Thank you very much for your comments. All right, with that, we're going to move on shortly to the committee of the whole meeting, and thank you all very much. And we are adjourned.
Thank you.